Well, you found me. This is the Vintage Wood Shop. I'm Sandy, and as I like to say, welcome to my playpen. A lot of camera problems in this video. I'm working in the new shop and kind of working out the wrinkles of working in the new shop. What I've got going there on the bench is a chunk of holly cherry. Yeah, I had never heard of it either. I harvested this on November 3rd of 2019, and what I'm getting ready to do there is weigh it because it's a pretty hefty piece of wood. As I'm about to show you, it came in at right at 18 pounds. So let me turn around and give you a better camera angle. Get the worm screw into that chuck, and we'll mount up this piece of wood and start making some shavings. Let me give you guys a better view of what's going to happen here. I'll move the camera. As you can see, I already have the extension mounted on my live center in anticipation of mounting the coring tool. This particular piece of wood I'm going to core twice this time. I'm using Easy Wood Tools rougher to knock the edges down on this thing, switching back and forth between it, the Ellsworth bowl gouge, and my big butter knife scraper. I've got it turned down to the point where it's mostly round, pretty well balanced, has been from the beginning, and I've got a nice large tenon turned on the bottom of that thing, so I can go ahead and spin it off of the wormwood screw and get it mounted up in the chuck. This is a really fiddly part of setting up the coring system. I've got my number 2 knife on there. And I'm measuring the distance the knife base is from the banjo. I have the banjo set at a point that indicates the very bottom of the bowl. So I take a measurement, I know how deep each knife is going to cut, and go from there. Now I'm mounting up a Forstner bit, cutting in a mortise so that I have something to mount that piece that I'm coring out on the lathe so I can cut a tenon on it to remount it to core it again. Confusing, huh? And after that, the coring went absolutely painlessly. Camera glitch. This was the piece that was the biggest of the two cores, and it had a crack that ran all the way across the top of the piece when I mounted the, the blank. I filled the cracks with epoxy, wrapped the bowl with cling wrap, and used the lathe centrifugal force to push the epoxy down into the cracks. Surprise, it worked quite well. Now I need to dismount this, put it aside, and mount up the other piece because this one's going to take a while to dry. Now I get to make use of the mortise that I cut before I cored the piece. This is the smaller of the two cores that I have cut already. I'm preparing it. I'll cut a tenon on the bottom and core it once more. This is the number 1 knife from One Way. It's all set up and ready to go. I have the live center pushed up against it so that if that core decides to leave the lathe, it can't go too far. In fact, it can't go anywhere. Brilliant, brilliant design on this coring system. And it's done. Cranked up the Dremel tool. Going to work on the flaws on this bowl, get them cleaned up so I can get some epoxy down into these cracks and then carry on with turning. Things got cleaned up good enough to turn using the Easy Wood finisher, swapping off between that and the Ellsworth gouge, bowl gouge. Everything is nice and balanced, and I was surprised that this wood was still a little bit damp after 3 years. But we'll carry on anyway. You are about to see just a little bit of a whoopsie up here. I got a little overconfident and did not bother bringing up the live center. So this bowl is about to say adios to the lathe. And there she goes. Luckily, no harm done to either me or the wood. And we'll just carry on turning and carry on with style, as always. The official name of this thing is Tompkins Gauge It Thickness Gauge. Absolutely indispensable little gadget. Had it for years. The ones that are currently for sale are black. I will put a link in the description below. Lesson learned, I went ahead and brought up the live center to finish hogging the inside of this bowl out. I did make a bunch of shavings. Now it's just a matter of doing a little CA glue, a little sawdust, fiddle here and there, and get this thing cleaned up so that I can sand it and finish it off. Sanding's all done. Going after it with Axe abrasive paste and Axe micro polishing paste. That is the only thing that is on this bowl. By the time I finish it, I'm going to put a little carnauba on it. But aside from that, that's all that is on this bowl. Now that I'm getting the bowl reverse mounted on the coal jaws, I will go ahead and bring the live center up. According to the instructions, that the set of coal jaws is only supposed to be used up to about 500 RPM. And that is what I'm spinning it at. I've got the tenon all cut off. Gonna check for clearance and finish up the bottom of this bowl. All sanded down from 80 grit, clear up through 400. Put on the Axe paste, put on the Axe micro polish, and it's just about finished. Use a little white diamond buff. Finish it off with a little carnauba. Handy little mandrel I have mounted on the lathe. Got it years ago from a guy named Don Pencil. I don't even know if he's in business anymore. Nice piece of kit. And there it is. That's bowl number 2. That's the little one, the cheap one. Ended up being just about 9 inches in diameter and a little over 3 inches deep. And all that's on it is axe paste, micro polish, and a little bit of carnauba wax. We'll work on a money bowl tomorrow. Welcome to day 2. I'm going to mount this bowl up, and the first thing I want to do is check to see how much out of round it is. I was pleased to see that it only moved about 1/16 of an inch. I was surprised to see that after 2 years, this thing was still a little bit damp in the middle. I've slowed this clip down to normal speed. I just finished sharpening the carbon insert on the Easy Wood finisher, and I want you to listen to the harmonic sound that gave me pause. I haven't used it in years, I haven't needed it in years, but I broke out my one-way bowl steady and set it up, seeing if this would get rid of the harmonic. The vibration was producing a really uneven cut all the way around the interior of the bowl. And problem solved. No more harmonics, no more chatter on the inside, and a nice, beautiful, clean cut on the inside of the bowl. Just using the gauge it now to get rid of the minor inconsistencies of the thickness of the wall. Since this is the money bowl, I'm spending my time here with the CA and sawdust, fixing the little imperfections around the outside. Gonna sand from 80 grit through 400. Use axe, both the paste and the polish, and finish it off with a little carnauba. Hang around to the end. I'll put up some beauty shots, but you guys have seen this all before. Don't need to put you through it again. Just putting a final buff on the little bowl, the interior piece of wood. This bowl was finished with Axe abrasive paste and the micro polish, and then a little session with the carnauba wax, as you're seeing right here. And I just love the look of this holly cherry. It just has all kinds of subtle little detail in there, and a beautiful chatoyance that the camera is absolutely not picking up. So here they are. This is the orientation that they were in when they were all one piece of wood. This I'm going to keep as a pedestal somewhere down the road. This turned out just a little under 9 inches and just a little under 3.5 inches deep. This one came in at 12.5 inches in diameter and about 5 inches deep. Here's the money bowl. Finished it with Axe paste, micro polish, and a couple coats of Danish oil. As I am fond of saying, until next time, strap on that tool belt, get out in the shop, grab up a piece of wood, and discover the beauty Mother Nature left inside it for you.